on the happy occasion of the Prime Minister completing 4399 uninterrupted days in power.
He's Aakar's favorite chief minister.
Uninterrupted and elected. I think we have to make sure that those three words are slipped in, as they were to all the faxes that went out across the world to the leaders who were asked to tweet about it. Georgia, Melody, etc. Continues uninterrupted and elected.
Continues uninterrupted elected Prime Minister for 439.
Apparently, we were not in a democracy between 47 and 52. That's what the government of India is telling us. So the British Raj ended only in 52.
So, Aakar, you wrote a piece on this, which starts off with you saying your friend Ram Madhav. So, firstly, clarify if he's really your friend or if you're just getting him in trouble.
I'm trying to inveigle my way into his good graces. I hope he accepts it as my contribution towards our friendship. I've never met him, but I quite like him. And you have this kind of connect with people based on their face and the contours of, the cheeks and so on. Vaisa hai mera. But he's not really a friend.
So you like Ram Madhav's cheekbones?
I do. And there's a fabulous photograph of him doing yoga on Yoga Divas, wearing sneakers and holding this kind of pose, like, I don't know, quite masculine, I thought. And I felt sort of attracted to him.
If you had to look at two chief achievements of Modi government in the last 12 years, and by achievements, I mean, the two things that really stand out for you that we've seen happen under this government's governance, what would they be?
The things that stand out, I think one is his full-throated defense or offense, if you prefer, of Hindutva. So before him, what we had was a fairly mealy-mouthed, tepid response to what the BJP was doing on the ground. I think it was Ram Vilas Paswan who said, "Ke inke shabdon par mat jaiye. What they're doing on the ground is what is relevant." And I think that what is refreshing with Modi is that all of that hypocrisy is in the dustbin. That through his words, but also through his actions, the laws that have been passed at the level of the union on citizenship and on the states. The other thing I think is that it is honest also in the sense that it's rare to find a world leader who's so solipsistic, full of himself. Like there's nobody else in the world at the moment I know who refers to themselves in the third person. Modi ne ye kaha, Modi ke bare mein wo bola. So, and I think that there's a kind of kindergarten charm, this kind of childlikeness to having people give you medals, give you the Philip Kotler Award, something.
I think Abhinandan had made this observation in one of the haftas that when he's back home with his own leaders, he has the sternest of expressions.
Yes.
Just like an angry principal who's schooling his class or his bunch of teachers. That's his general demeanor back home, where he's stern, he's angry, he rarely ever smiles, especially like if you see the cabinet meetings. Even when this whole thing was happening where they were clapping for him, he's not as warm, let's say. And the moment he steps outside, whoever he's meeting, he's like the most warmest person with foreign leaders, with the press there, with whatever. He has this smile, he's cracking jokes, he's laughing. It's like that airport look, pictures that Bollywood guys get clicked right outside the airport where they're always like, he's smiling like, I don't know what. Why do you think that is? Where does that come from? Since you know him from his Gujarat days.
I think that let's look at the parallel. So since you mentioned Gujarat days, he was always on the lookout for validation from the English media. So I went with Patgaonkar and Varghese as part of this team that the Editors Guild sent to Gujarat in 2002. I think we were there in March and in April to look at the media's performance during the violence. And he was at pains to make sure that we felt comfortable. He, spent time with us, had the entire secretariat, all the secretaries of the state lined up in rows in front of us for us to ask a question. It's not something he would do with the Gujarati press. It's not something that he did in that period with the Hindi press. He wanted to be liked. He wanted to be understood by those people who were accusing him of being communal. And he felt that this was wrong, that he was a different sort of person, and once you really got to know him well, he held my hand and swung it around in the way that Gujarati men do, and men around the subcontinent do. And he was very warm, but he required validation, and I think that extends to the globe. The reason why ANI and the other networks have cut off the audio from his meetings with leaders of the global north, he's not seen this way with the leaders from Africa, for instance, because that's not the set of people that he wants. He wants validation from. I assure you, he spends a large amount of time, more than most men would, on what he's going to wear, how he looks in the mirror that day, and so on. And he's always been that way. There was a full page we carried. I was working in a Gujarati newspaper 25 years or so ago, Divya Bhaskar, where we got access to him for a day, and what he wanted published were photos of him doing yoga.
Okay, deep psychological insights by Aakar Patel. But Raman sir, your view on who comes, like Modi as a leader in BJP who's just irreplaceable, and that there is going to be a natural weakening after his days are interrupted.
Things change in politics, every hour. But yes, with Modi, politics is standstill in a way. But I think after Modi, I can't visualize, anybody from the BJP winning. I completely agree with Aakar. I mean, this UP CM that people keep, but I think this is the North phenomenon. People in UP or maybe some in Delhi, they see it like this, but I don't think he has the charisma. Just look at the CM. He had gone to Karnataka, he had gone to Chhattisgarh for campaigning and all that. He wasn't popular at all. So I think there is going to be a huge vacuum. So first of all, I see in 2029, so long as he stays, Modi stays more popular than RSS, then I think he's going to come back in 2029. He will not retire. So that is something which I am very keenly looking at. The RSS and Modi, how it is going to play up in the next 2-3 years.
How much of this power is actually Amit Shah? I mean, the Amit Shah-Modi duo, can they survive without each other? And we've seen them, and I mean, you've seen them very closely in Gujarat and how this hard work actually functions. So, as the other questions around whether Modi will retire or not, where does power really flow from when it comes to winning elections one after the other? So, if Modi is this guy who can relentlessly win elections, how much of that power actually comes from Amit Shah? And the second thing I want you to tie in to look at, when we're thinking about opposition taking on BJP, there's also this one understanding that actually it'll be the BJP that'll take on the BJP, that finally it'll be their own internal contradictions, their own weaknesses, infighting or whatever. Do you see that as a realistic assessment of the BJP as we know it today?
No. I'll go to the first question first. Amit can be replaced, and what he brings to the table in terms of competence, in terms of hardness, these are not characteristics that are rare. When somebody is empowered, they can actually function to the level that he does, and he's extremely competent. For the decade or so that he was Home Minister of Gujarat, when Modi was the Chief Minister, he was not given cabinet rank, and he was always kept as Minister of State with the understanding that there is somebody larger than him on top. Modi can't be replaced. He's sui generis. There's nobody like him. There are many aspects to him that are unique. He's the only person in the BJP who brings in, through his charisma, both the nut job voter who wants the Muslims to be screwed over, plus he's got this sort of aspirational bent to him, where those in the middle class who might be willing to look away from some of the ideological stuff, but don't like, say, dynastic politics, don't like the fact that India seemed to be timid on the global stage. For them, also, he's the only person. I don't think people like the UP Chief Minister and so on can actually replace him.
So, when it comes to who after Modi, like there are names like Himanta Biswa Sarma, Fadnavis, Yogi, but the key...
Dehati log hain ye to. They don't have that other bit. And I think with the guy from Assam, he's slightly fraudulent because he's never... Modi was able to establish his credentials in Hindutva terms in 2002 in a way that either can't be replicated because it cannot. And he doesn't need to echo what it is that he stands for. We know what he stands for.
But shouldn't that then lead to a natural weakening? If there is no one like Modi in the BJP, then
they will have that problem. And I think that I think of him as being unique in many, many ways. And I don't think he's replaceable from the pack that they have within. The problem with having somebody from the outside is that...
बस मुफ्त में इतना ही मिलेगा. For the full uncut podcast, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. The best way to listen to the Hafta and indeed all our podcasts is through the News Laundry app. You can download the app by clicking on the links given in the show notes. So do download our app and get the best podcast experience. And also pay for news and support a new news media ecosystem that News Laundry is trying to encourage, where we are accountable to you because we run on contributions that you make. We don't take government ads, we don't take corporations ads, so that news serves the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Subscribe to News Laundry, click on the link in the show notes below and proudly say, I pay to keep news free.